Hello, and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday, the 20th of July 2026. Brought to you by our partners at Seiko, your no-nonsense end-to-end logistics provider and partner. It's Gary here again. Thank you, as always, to everyone for tuning in. And I think the milestone has been passed now in terms of getting the World Cup out of the way, getting all of our players back. The players that are certainly coming back anyway, in terms of some of them got to the latter stages, for example, Nico Raskin, and they will be on holiday and such. And then you get that opportunity to say, hey, it's kind of coming up here. And it's great to say that next week the season starts. And I very, very much look forward to that. I think I've mentioned this before. I get kind of puffed out towards the end of the season. And part of it is it's a lot of games, it's a lot of energy, and sometimes the energy feels like it's wasted because Rangers aren't doing what we want them to do, and they haven't done for quite some time. And then on top of that, there's all the NARSA work that has to happen in order for us to have successful end of season events, and it's kind of tiring. So I'm always at that point where I'm like, I need a wee breather from Rangers, and probably Rangers need a wee breather from me at the same time. And I'm at the spot now where I'm like, please, Rangers, come back. I really don't mind watching games where in the World Cup, for example, where I really genuinely don't care who wins. I kind of pick a favourite and such, and some teams I like to see do better than others, but I really don't have an emotional attachment to it, which is very different to watching Rangers, which is very, very difficult sometimes. When I'm kind of like, oh my God, please win, please win. I don't want to go into this pod on Monday and try and put lipstick on this particular pig. But it's been a long time coming. It's felt like quite a long, close season, of course, with the happenings of a new manager and a bunch of new players, coaching staff, and the like. So it's going to be exciting. So one thing I thought was quite prevalent this past week in the news that I thought I would start with, I was going to do it in the communications section, but I think it fits just as well here in the intro, is that I saw in the news that there is now a law back home called the Hillsborough Law. And it's basically just to, after like 37 years after the Hillsborough disaster, that it's called officially the Public Office Accountability Bill, or the Hillsborough Law, and I think it would be referred to as the Hillsborough Law from this point forward, quite honestly. But what it does is it imposes a legal duty of candour on public officials to tell the truth about and I'm reading this out here, and I'm laughing. It's definitely not funny. I just think the funny part is that in this day and age, we needed a law to force people to tell the truth. So it imposes a legal duty of candour on public officials to tell the truth about public tragedies, whatever the impact on their reputation. Can you believe 2026? And we have to pass a law that says officials, which would be police, local authority, government officials, whomever was involved, maybe the ambulance service, in covering up these particular tragedies, are now legally obliged to tell the truth. How bizarrely ironic or disgusting or weird or just plain nutty is that we need a law for our public officials who have been put in positions of trust to tell the truth about failings, errors in judgment, errors in process, failures on behalf of particular officers or people who were involved in it and such. That they have to do that. That's absolutely bizarre, incredible, and hopefully it does some good in the future. Hopefully we never need to use the Hillsborough Law at any point in the future. But if the very, very unfortunate circumstance happens that we do, then we know that people will be legally obliged to tell the truth. I kind of thought they were when they were under oath, but maybe not, I guess, is the thing. So yeah, a little bit weird, almost as weird as the former, as it turns out now, Motherwell midfielder Elliot Watt, who received a 4-match ban for his, was it a tweet or maybe an Instagram post? I can't remember exactly what it was he did after that penalty incident that mob from the East End got, which was completely, utterly pathetic cheating, blatant cheating. And he comes out and says the worst VAR decision in history, I think, and he got a 4-match ban to be served immediately And, Motherwell came out with a kind of canned statement. We're disappointed about the outcome. We're going to try and find out a bit more about it, things like that. But the interesting part is, obviously, that was material in terms of where the title ended up, because if that penalty had not been awarded and hadn't been scored, it was very, very much Hearts to lose on the last game of the season. But that's not the way, of course, that it turned out, because that's just not the way it was supposed to turn out, is it? And we're in a situation now where this is material for us, because we, under the same night where they showed Derek McInnes the penalty incident and he said it was disgusting, his hearing is happening this coming Wednesday, I believe it is, the 22nd. So that's going to be, I wonder if we need some version of the Hillsborough law to be in the SFA's or the SPFL's offices when we get to that, to say, tell the actual truth about what happened. I think it's a disgusting decision, so I'm not allowed to use language that I would typically probably use in a professional or personal setting. Like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I want Derek McInnes to be on the touchline at Dundee United a week on Friday, and I'm sure he does as well. So it will be very, very disappointing, and hopefully Rangers come out and use this as an opportunity to set a marker early in the season to say, if anything comes up in terms of a ban, that we are going to fight it tooth and nail to the highest courts in the land, because there's no danger that should or could involve any sort of ban for him. So we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, kind of odd from a people dynamic perspective that we need to legally infuse people's honesty, and we just have the most bizarre situation in terms of a four-match ban for some words on a screen. Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. So yeah, I guess we'll see. In terms of the game segment, well, of course, the World Cup's finished, as I talked about there, and it was quite an interesting and entertaining week. Of course, England kind of blew it in the semi-final, didn't they? They had a really good, strong position, and they were doing well. Yes, Argentina had some chances, and Argentina seemed to use up all of the chances in the semi-final, because they certainly hardly created any in the final. And it looks like they tried to park the bus against a team that was renowned in this tournament for scoring late goals, and it was just a flop at the end. And you could see and feel the goal coming for them. And it would have been interesting to see Spain versus England yesterday, to see what that would have looked like. I don't think it would have been quite as one-sided in the final. Of course, Spain going out 1-0 winners. And talking about watching games where I don't really mind what happens, I changed my mind. I was like, in the beginning, it was nice to see Argentina win it, and then I was cheering for Spain, and people are like, make up your bloody mind, you. And I says, I just want a good game of football. It doesn't matter to me. I had said before, I think Spain are a very boring team to watch, and yesterday I didn't think they were. I thought they went for it yesterday. They were creating chances from the very, very beginning of the game, and very, very worthy winners. If that had been 4-0 yesterday, I don't think anybody would have much complaint there. And of course, the Argentinians, they just look like they're going out for a fight. It's kind of, as me and a friend were talking about yesterday, anti-football. They just the dark side of the game. They don't even do it that well. The referee could and should have brought out his cards a wee bit earlier, but it was an odd approach to the final. It was kind of like, I can't remember what World Cup final it was. I think it actually might have been Spain and Holland. And Holland had played brilliant football up to the final, and then just decided they were going to make it a brawl. And they had something like 7 or 8 cards. That was the one where famously the guy, karate kicks the other guy in the chest, but Howard Webb was a referee and was completely onside. He didn't see it. VAR wasn't a thing at the time for World Cup, so it was a situation where it just went unpunished. And in that game, they just completely changed tact to try and in some way counteract the gap in skills between them and Spain, and that seemed to be what Argentina did yesterday. So it was well deserved by Spain, and the best team won it. And England's game with France on Saturday was just one of those. That's like the sort of games that I would play in with my team. Like, we're 4-0 up at half time. Let's keep it tight, guys. 4-3 within a hyper or a nanosecond after it, and then 5-3, then 5-4, and the 6-4. It was quite bizarre. I didn't see the whole game. I was playing football myself, actually, but I got to see most of it, and entertaining. It would have been kind of cool if that was a final, I guess. But Kylian Mbappe gets his golden boot, which is good. He had a really good tournament. But back to the football that we genuinely, really, truly care about. And we have 2 friendlies this week to set us up for success, hopeful success at Tannadice next week. And the first one is this Wednesday, friendly at home to St Etienne, and that's 7:45 p.m. UK. And in terms of RTV, I think we're having this conversation at this point this year that we have every single time at this point of the season, or just prior to the season, is, are we getting the friendlies? Are we getting the friendlies? We contact RTV. RTV say, well, have we got an arrangement in place? Have we got an agreement? It's going to be advertised through normal channels. And there's just this little disconnect on the communication. Yes, we're going to get the friendlies. Of course, we've never got the friendlies. So we will definitely have the friendlies. And I assume, now a great question was asked actually today, if we were, if say for example Calgary, we only take weekend games, we don't take midweek games because no one was showing up for midweek games. So if we only take weekend games and there's a friendly midweek, do we get access to the friendly in midweek? And the short answer is right now, I'm not 100% sure. We're going to find out from RTV what that looks like. And then of course we have West Ham United on Sunday, and then it is all systems go for Tannadice next Friday, a week on Friday, 1 p.m. kickoff here in Calgary. It's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. We'll talk about that a wee bit next week, but really looking forward to getting going there. And then the games come thick and fast, don't they? Because we were just drawn today. We learned our fate in terms of the Europa League qualification, where I'm going to butcher this name, I imagine, but I'll give it a go, where we've drawn against Polish side Jagiellonia Białystok, something like that. I'll only have to say it another, what does that be, 3 times? 2 times maybe. And we are away from home, and that's going to be the 6th and the 13th. So we have our first game on the 31st, then our second competitive game on the 6th in Europe, and then we're at home to Hibs, and then we are at home to the Polish team, and the games are right back in the thick of action. We need to get off to a good start, especially domestically. If we have a stink bomb of a game on Friday, that's going to be a tough start for Derek and team, and we really don't want that. So hopefully we get off to a flyer at Tannadice, and then the European games can take care of themselves. I think a lot of people, well, certainly myself and a few close friends are like, the league is the priority for this year. It doesn't matter what happens in Europe. And I kind of subscribe to that. So it would be great to be in the Europa League. I do enjoy that competition. And that seems to be our kind of sweet spot, certainly for now. So we'll see what that looks like and figure it out as we move forward. So yeah, the game segment kind of coming up thick and fast here, and I cannot wait for that. In terms of the shout outs, I'm going to provide this is a belated birthday shout out here, and it's quite belated when I tell you the actual dates. I meant to 2 weeks ago and forgot, because I sometimes forget to look ahead. I mentioned this last week on the pod, and then last week I meant to do a belated birthday to the Campbell twins, to Greg and Stella Campbell, who celebrated their 10th birthday on the 8th of July. Right now it's the 20th. It's 2 weeks ago, I guess just under 2 weeks ago. And the thing is that we've got a group message, and I was saying to Brian, make sure please wish the twins a very happy birthday from their drunkle Gaz, but I never manifested itself or manifested the messaging onto the pod. So Greg and Stella, I'm very sorry for being late. A belated happy birthday again from myself and everyone at NARSA, and I'm fairly certain you got completely spoiled, and I cannot believe that you fine folks are in double figures now. Literally, where does the time go? I hope you had a great time, and I look forward to seeing you folks soon. Second one, a wee bit family related this time. My beautiful baby boy Leo broke 90. He's been an avid golfer this summer, particularly. We got a golf membership at a local golf club here called Elbow Springs, and he broke 90 for the first time ever. I've been playing golf since I was a lot younger than he is. He's 17 now, and I've never broke 90. If you've ever played golf with me, you know why, especially my golfing over the last 20 years, which is very sociable. Very sociable, if you understand what I mean. And my bag is clinking and chinking most of the time with my hydration break material that's in the bag. I like to just have a great time on the course, and he got an 86 last week, and then a day later he got confirmed he had a Stampede job at a restaurant downtown. Really cool, really nice restaurant downtown Calgary, and they have decided to keep him on, so he's now a part of the regular shift rotation there. So talk about a day for that young man to break 90 for the first time, and then also get confirmed on the job that he wanted. He did want it. He had a rough start on his first couple of days because he was like, what am I doing here? And then he found his stride and really likes it and really enjoys it right in the heart of downtown. So very, very proud and pleased for him. And just another reminder for the Rangers Ladies Lunch, which is coming up here, would that be about 4 weeks from now, 4-ish weeks from now, August 21st. Tickets are £75 if you haven't picked them up already, and you get a whole bunch of cool things happening that day, and you get to leave with a deluxe gift bag courtesy of Harrods Beauty as well. In terms of the convention update, the update's kind of similar to what it was before. We're in the process right now of narrowing down locations, literal locations as in cities that we would be looking to potentially visit. And we're just going to be embarking upon getting some preliminary pricing and availability and pricing for our typical times that we would maybe have it. So we've got a few potential areas in mind for right now. And again, like I said last week, I'm a wee bit nervous that we don't have discernible progress right now, but we have pulled off events in lesser time and a less amount of time, I should say, than this. So we'll see what that looks like. But we're actively gathering information and such. And as I mentioned before, once we're in a position to announce, I'll get Alan and Brian on the pod, and we'll have a bit of a time of it, and then I'll have them do the big reveal, and then we can tell you what it's going to be. And at that point, we will have everything set up in terms of ticket purchases and such like that as well. So please stay tuned. We are getting closer on that, and it's certainly an area of focus. We're looking to try and get the season off to a solid start from RTV perspective, and then get on with the destinations. And the destinations that we are looking at are cool places, good places to go and visit, places that you would be kind of like, yes, I'm in. So hopefully you would be like that. We're not looking to go to places that are difficult to get to, or maybe we've been to a number of times before, and maybe the interest isn't there for right now. So we'll see what that looks like. But hopefully we'll get some more to share over the next wee while. Just a quick reminder that if you're updating, this is kind of AGM season. If you're updating your club contacts details or your location, please do let us know. NARSA Communications, at gmail.com. We'll go straight to Colin. He will get it updated on the website for you, and then we'll get all the information there on the map and such like that as well, so that people know where to find you if they are travelling in your neck of the woods. And yeah, I think that's it from an overall perspective. The vouchers are going to be, I believe the new vouchers for the new season are going to be distributed, I think it's after the Dundee United game. I believe that's what Dan's plan was. And if you're a NARSA club member and your club has not yet responded to the survey information that went out, please do so as soon as you can, so that helps us know and understand what, if any, gaps exist in terms of our financial arrangement with RTV for this season. It's really, really important we get that information, so please don't delay, or your name will be on the windy, as we say, and there might be some naming and shaming going on, and we don't want to do that anywhere at all. In terms of communications for this week, do you know what? I didn't see a Gers guide, but the last time I checked, right now it's a wee bit later today. I've had a very, very busy day. It's 3:47 p.m. my time, and I didn't see a Gers guide the last time I checked, but that was before lunchtime, so there might be one up now, probably not. But I imagine from next week onwards there'll probably be a Gers guide, or certainly after the Dundee United game, if they're going to actually continue to do that. Who knows whether they are or are not. And yeah, I think that's it really. This is the one last one where there's not a lot of information. Rangers had a friendly, I think, on the weekend there. I saw some of the highlights. I don't plan to watch the St Etienne or the West Ham game, but I'll probably watch the highlights just to kind of be able to talk about it. But I did catch the highlights from the game on the weekend, and our defending at both goals that we lost, we were 2-0 down and brought it back to 2-2. Well, it was comedy stuff. It's the sort of stuff that I would do on the field of play, and if you've seen me play, you'll know what I mean. But that's why we're doing pre-season friendlies, to iron all of this sort of garbage out and give ourselves an opportunity to succeed once the actual games proper start for us. So that's exactly what we are going to do. Don't forget to like and follow us on the various social media platforms out there, TikTok and Instagram. There it's NARSA Comms, NARSACOMMS. And of course, like and subscribe on YouTube if you can, if you haven't already. That will do it for this week. My friends, thank you very, very much for taking the time to tune in. Thanks as always to our partners at Seiko for all of your help and support. Please do share this episode with someone that you think might enjoy it. And until next week, here's to getting back to more of a sense of normalcy in terms of Rangers playing games that we will pay attention to, and give ourselves that chance to see some of the new folks and see what it feels like in the new kits, and of course to set ourselves up for everything should be laser beam focused on the 31st at 8 p.m. UK time. So that's what the focus is hopefully going to be, and we're going to get off to a flyer. We'll talk more about that next week. Until next week, please do take care of yourself and all the very, very best, okay? Follow.